Let's make some noise. Come on.
Devil, I'm the D-E, I'm the D-E-V-I, I'm the D-E, I'm the D-E-V-I, I'm the D-E, I'm the D-E-V, I'm the D-E-V-I-L. I'm the D-E, I'm the D-E-V-I, I'm the D-E, I'm the D-E-V-I, I'm the D-E, I'm the D-E-V, I'm the D-E-V-I-L, the devil.
Oh, and with that, the Philadelphia Eagles are Super Bowl champions. No, they're not. That's right, Philadelphia. They are not Super Bowl champions yet. Welcome back to the Final Word with MattyB here on the It's a Wrap Sports Network. The first broadcast edition of the Final Word for the new week. And it is a great start to the week. Yes, the Eagles indeed did punch their ticket to Super Bowl 59 tonight. Man, you know, you gotta call it as you see it, man. And I am the first person to say that. And trust me, if I go back on that, I would be the biggest hypocrite in the world. 55-23 in a game that I don't think anybody saw coming. A dominant performance by the Eagles this afternoon and completely went against, I think, the entire script of what everybody had sort of in their mind of how this was all going to play out. Turnovers. No one's talking about it, or at least no one that I've been listening to. All I've listened to is Homer Extra. That's all I was listening to on the Birds Flyby, boy. Woo! Man, by the way those guys were talking, I thought they had won the Super Bowl in between winning the championship game and them going on the air. But I digress. No, turnovers. We talk about it all the time. We talk about how turnovers are killers in the regular season and lethal in the postseason. Me and my main man, Kyle Quinn, discussed that heavily going into this game back on the Birds Blast on, what was that, Friday? I don't even remember anymore. Eagles go into this game not committing any turnovers in the playoffs. Commanders go into this game not committing any turnovers in the playoffs. You're on the pregame when I had the privilege of joining Al and Sal. And by the way, let's back it up. Seeing Al, Sal, and Mike all together again sure made my heart feel good. And that's the way it's supposed to be, folks. That's how it's supposed to be. And trust me, big news, big things are coming from the It's a Wrap Sports Network. So please stay tuned. But it was great to see them all back together today on the post-game show. I sat back like a proud father, so almost, of watching the youngsters at play. So, no, it was great to watch. They did a fine job on the post-game. And then me, Mike, and Al, of course, cut it up on the pregame. But what was I talking about? Oh, yes, turnovers. Eagles come into this game not committing any turnovers. Commanders not committing any turnovers. And what happens? 4 turnovers. I don't care what level of football you're playing, with maybe the exception of Pop Warner. And I probably would tell you that you probably can't commit 4 turnovers at Pop Warner either. You're not going to win at this league. It's so basic, so fundamental, yet it's been rampant through the playoffs this year. And the Eagles have been on the plus side of it all playoffs long. And then, of course, I've been tracking this since about 6 games ago. 6 games now, going back into the regular season, the Eagles have forced 20 friggin' turnovers. 20 turnovers. Completely changed the complexion of this football game. Completely changed how the Commanders could attack the Eagles. It completely changed how the Eagles defense attacked the Commanders. It changed everything. It was the number one key observation and key moment of this game. Because even through the dominance of Jalen Hurts, who, yes, again, going to call it like I see it, probably the best all-around game I've seen out of him since last year's Buffalo game. And still, he didn't seem to have command of the offense all that much, but he made timely throws, of course, down the sidelines. I went to the middle of the field 3 times all night, but he made the throws. Didn't turn the football over himself, and he puts the Eagles in a position, and then all you do is hand the freaking ball off to Saquon Barkley. When is somebody, if anybody, going to step up and stop this guy as he is running his way into the record books in 2024-25 now, as the Eagles handily defeated the Washington Commanders 55-23 and are on their way to New Orleans in 2 weeks to battle either the Buffalo Bills or the Kansas City Chiefs. And let's give an update here. 21-10 Chiefs. Okay, so I think we can safely say, even though it's in the first half, it's going to be the Eagles and Chiefs. That's right. It's going to be the Eagles and Chiefs. I'm going to put money on it right now. Eagles and Chiefs. Boom. There it is. Eagles and Chiefs. It then sets up all kinds of interesting storylines that we'll actually wait to get to. But, yeah, I mean, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that, was I right? But again, I go back to the opening of the show. And by the way, thank you, Nick Foles, for being the honorary captain and what's the guy that handed over the trophy tonight. That was cool to see. I ain't gonna lie to you. It's very, very cool to see. But I am gonna put this out there. What have they won? They got the NFC Championship trophy. They've won the second place trophy. So the big one's still out there. The big one, and I guarantee you the Chiefs ain't just going to hand it over. I'm telling you they're not. And but again, story for another day. But we have to revel in this. 55-23, Eagles with the win. Welcome back to the Final Word. MattyB here on the It's a Wrap Sports. And listen, down there, please like and subscribe on all of our platforms. We need it. We've had the biggest increase in YouTube subscriptions today that we've had in the history of our network since October when we were born. We've had 4 today. Keep it up, man. It's making me feel great. I got 4 new YouTube subscriptions. Woohoo! No, I appreciate it, and we appreciate it here on the network. So keep up the good work because we need it. Steve says this club's like, yes, this it is on Delaware Ave. That's like, can you imagine me, Steve, down there cutting up some glow sticks in a glow stick in my mouth and a glow stick in my hand, right? Don't you like that, Steve? 10-0 turnovers in playoffs. Yeah, Steve, turnovers kill in the regular season, and they are absolutely lethal in the playoffs. The Eagles have forced 10 turnovers in the playoffs, 20 over the last 6 games. And you cannot deny that. You cannot deny the huge effect a turnover has in the game. And tonight, even in the Buffalo KC game, it's just some sloppy play. How do you go into a championship game? How do you go into the biggest game of your life to date and turn the football over 4 freaking times? How do you commit such fundamental mistakes? There was no snow issues tonight. The ball wasn't wet. It was a pretty mild day for football. You go into this game and you commit 4. How do you do that? Where's the coaching? And then all the, the patting on the shoulders when you come off on the sidelines, like, it's okay, it's okay. Remember the old days you turn the football over, you sit? Maybe we need to go back to that. Maybe if we went back to that and if coaches went back to that, you wouldn't see all these damn turnovers. But boy, and I'm not, listen, and it's not luck either. A turnover is not luck. Mostly it's not. Tonight's turnovers was extremely great tackling technique on the Eagles, punching balls out, doing what they got to do, seeing an opening where the ball is kind of away from the body and taking that opening by punching the ball. That's good coaching. Got to give the credit where the credit is due. Eagles dominant tonight, 55-23 winners over the Washington Commanders. We're going to break this game down a little bit more because I thought this game was won in the first friggin' quarter. Actually, I did. I think the most productive play tonight from the Commanders was that fake punt they had in the first quarter. That was the epochs of their magic. From that point on, it was all downhill. And 4 turnovers aren't going to help you through that. So 55-23, the final score. Michael Clay has a special team. Yes, he does, and it bodes well for the Eagles because going into the Super Bowl, is it okay for me to say it's going to be the Chiefs? Does anybody think the Bills are coming back in the second half, 21-10 down against the Bills or against the Chiefs? Does anybody out there think that the Bills are going to come back and win this game? You wanted it, Philadelphia. I've been calling for it all year. You want to be the best, you got to beat the best. You stand in the way, potentially, about 90% solution here. You stand in the way of a Kansas City Chief three-peat. You could be the bread in a Kansas City Chief three-peat. Boy, would that suck. Would that not be the most Philly thing that can happen? All this greatness, all this fun and joy we're having, skating all the way to the Super Bowl, and then boom, we run into a damn buzzsaw, which is the back-to-back dynasty-laden Kansas City Chief. But again, more of that for another day, because I am in perspective in the real moment, not like a lot of other people who have already, pretty much their spots on Broad Street right now. Now, of course, there's people on Broad Street for other things. Enjoy it. It's the the 5th, 6th? How many NFC Championship games? 1, 2, 4th or 5th? Yeah, 5th in our franchise history. So wow, only 5 NFC Championships in our history. But there you go, Eagles on their way to the Super Bowl. Hurts cleaned up his turnover act. The difference says since the bye. Steve, are you trying to give me Ajima, man? Are you trying to get me like back up on the listen? Okay, Steve, you opened it up. You punted the ball. I'm going to take it and return it. Here we go. So there's been a lot of lies being spread about me over the airwaves. One, I am not a Jalen Hurts hater. I have no ill will towards Jalen Hurts. I think he's a very capable starting quarterback. I think he's very average to above average. I do. I think he's capable. He's a starter. He's definitely a starter in the NFL. He's not elite. He's not top 5. He's not top 3. He's barely top 10. And I don't have to necessarily, I don't think I should have to justify that based on the body of work, right? So as far as your comment that he's cleaned up his turnover act, why has he done that, Steve? What are some of the factors that have led him to his cleaning up his turnover act? I said this on the pregame. Steve, were you not there for the pregame? I will get into why I feel this way. I'll repeat it for you. Dating back to last season, dating back to the 49er game of last season, and moving all the way up to the Week 4 game against, who was that Week 4? Was it Tampa? Who were they playing Week 4 before the bye? Whoever that was. The Eagles were 3-8. And in that time frame, Jalen Hurts was turning the football over epically. They had the come into Jesus moment where they decided to go run heavy. And since then, well, you already know what's happened since. Has Jalen Hurts, and why I'm saying all this to say this. Has Jalen Hurts cleaned up his turnover act, or have the Eagles cleaned it up for him? The Eagles are not putting him in any type of position to make difficult throws. The Eagles haven't had to do that because their decision to go run heavy has worked brilliantly, has worked to get them to the Super Bowl. Now, will it work to get them over the top or to the top of the mountain to kick the Chiefs off? We'll have to wait and see. Again, I'm saying the Chiefs. What's the score? I don't want to sound like a complete loon. 21-16, so maybe it ain't the Chiefs. I still think it is. But is it going to be enough? Is Jalen Hurts' inability to be clutch, and that's what this comes down to for me, is that the Eagles don't trust him to be clutch. So they give him very low percentage passes. Some people don't really take much stock into the middle of the field stat that I constantly am on about. There's something about that. They don't trust Jalen Hurts to make timing throws. They don't trust Jalen Hurts to throw a ball through a clean window or a tight window. I saw Jalen Daniels threading the needle tonight. Jalen Hurts can't make those passes. He can't. And the Eagles have stopped letting him try. So the offense, which is dazzling to me, bewildering to me, that it's so vanilla, it's so bland, it's so one friggin' layered. Nobody can stop it, though. And I guess I got to give credit to the talent on the team. Nobody can stop this vanilla run, draw down the sideline offense. Nobody. At least nobody yet. So I think Jalen Hurts' performance is masked a little bit by the talent around him. And that's what you're supposed to do with your team. You're supposed to put quarterbacks in the best position that you can to make plays and to succeed. And it's okay that he's that way. Everyone wants to think I'm trying to bash Jalen Hurts. I'm not. But I am going to fight back on the fact that a lot of people think he's elite or that he's worth the $1.6 million a game? He's not worth that. He's not. He's a He's a capable starting quarterback in this league who has still not won anything yet. He hasn't won the big one yet. He's got a shot. He's got his chance right now heading into New Orleans in a couple weeks. So please, I just want everyone to know that I am not anti-Jalen. I really am not. I'm just not pro-Jalen. I think Jalen's a capable quarterback. But if there's an upgrade and an opportunity to upgrade, let's take it. Because it's definitely something that needs to be looked at if that opportunity comes up. So I just wanted to get that out there, man. I'm tired of being labeled as this like Jalen Hurts hater. I'm not. Right now, that's all he needs to do. See, you're right. But what happens when somebody figures it out? What happens when Kansas City or Buffalo, I guess, finds a way to stop Saquon Barkley? And Jalen Hurts needs to beat you with his arm. Can he? That's my point. Can he? When the offense goes down to when they shut Saquon Barkley off, and right now nobody on this planet has figured out how to shut Saquon Barkley off. Well, his first play from scrimmage tonight, a 60-yard touchdown. Come on. What is this, Madden? What are we doing? What are the Commanders doing? I said this last week about Sean McVay. Coming out of the first time that the Rams played the Eagles, and they gave up over 300 yards total offense to Saquon Barkley. If I was McVay going into that game last week, I'd have said, I don't care if Jalen Hurts throws 1,000 touchdown passes. Fine. But under no circumstances is Saquon Barkley going to beat us the way he did. And what did he do? I mean, he didn't beat him as bad, but almost as bad. I think 525 yards of total offense in 2 games against the Rams this year with Saquon. And again, there's no secret to what the Eagles are doing. No one can stop them. I'll give you that. They can't. But someone's going to eventually find a way. Someone's going to eventually put a plug inside the dam. And then what happens then? What do the Eagles do at that point? And yes, it's a waiting for the other shoe to drop type of theory. And maybe that's not the way I should look at it. Maybe I should enjoy it and ride the wave of greatness right now. But again, haven't won anything yet. So that's all I'm trying to say. Yes, you're right. That's all he needs to do right now. But this idiocy, this idiotic ranting that he's not passing as much because he doesn't have to is completely hooey. He's not passing as much because the Eagles took that away from him and said, we're going to run heavy because of this bell cow running back we got. And we're going to go down. We're going to go down in flames with Saquon because it's not working with Jalen. That's where it all came from. And if I'm the only one who freaking sees that, then I guess maybe I have to die with that. But to say that, oh, it's a matter of, they stop Saquon, we can just have Hurts beat them. No, he hasn't proven he can do that. He hasn't. Now, 2 weeks off, good God, Eagles need it. Definitely need the bye week here. Definitely need to get Jalen Hurts healthy. Got to get Cam Jurgens, Landon Dickerson. What, man? You got guys with knee braces on. You got guys with bad backs playing, and they're, hats off, man. Hats off to them offensive linemen because they didn't miss a beat. Did not miss a beat tonight. And hats off to the game plan once again. And they dominated at the point of attack. When consistently Saquon Barkley is not being touched till about 6 yards down the field, it's going to be a good day. And when you set the tone with a 60-yard run or a 60-yard shot up the middle or around the edge on the first play of the game, I mean, God damn, man. I mean, Jesus Louise. And then the turnovers. You take the turnovers out of this game, it's a different game because there were points in this game where the Commanders were coming at the Eagles, and the Eagles offense did lull again. They were unstoppable in the beginning, but then they went into a little bit of a lull, and the Commanders had chances. They had chances to pull themselves back into the game. Down 27-15, they got within what? No, was it 30? It was down 34-15. They got it to 34-23, and then they were driving again to potentially score, make it 34-30. And then what happens? Another turnover. And again, that's not luck. I understand that. That is good defense. That is good defense. And they did their job. And I got it. Hats off to the Eagles for that. Hats off to them. But stop it with the Jalen Hurts elite stuff. He's not elite. If we have to rely on him to win us a Super Bowl, we're not going to win it. I don't think they're going to win it anyway. But if you have to rely on Jalen Hurts to win a Super Bowl, you're going to find out that he's not that guy. Because one, he doesn't throw the ball to the middle of the field. Why? Because the Eagles don't trust him. The Moriarty playbook does not have a play designed for him to go to the middle of the field. Why am I on a Jalen Hurts rant here? It's the NFC. They just won the NFC friggin' championship. Should be a happy night. Starting to throw the ball away one time, when he would keep it at the same. Yeah, Steve, but he also was holding on to it before he threw the ball away tonight. He still was holding on to it for a while as well. I mean, come on. And he wasn't as mobile. Listen, you're right. He did a better job with that, but he's still holding on to the ball at times a little. He's making 1 point. See, this is what bothers me about this Jalen Hurts nonsense. The guy is being paid as an elite quarterback, but yet we're talking about fundamentals, about not holding on to the football too long. Oh, he's doing better by not holding on to the football. Well, then why are we paying him elite quarterback money when he's only performing as an average to above average, and we're talking about fundamentals with him holding on to the football? What is it? What is he? Somebody tell me. Is he an elite quarterback that's getting paid $1.6 million a game? Or is he a guy that, well, you know what? We're working on the fundamentals. He's holding on. He's not holding on to the ball too long. And come on, Steve. What is it, man? You're not a homer, Steve. I respect your opinion 100%. But right now you're talking out of both sides of your mouth like a friggin' homer. So I just want to know what it is. Again, I am not anti-Jalen Hurts. I am not. I'm not pro Jalen Hurts. I think he's a good quarterback. I think he's an average to a slightly above average quarterback. But yet we're talking like he's elite. Most people do. Not all, but most. Hurts is very good before the snap. His audibles have been solid. The stretch play on the stack box was good. I think most people, he is an elite, but right now it may not matter. And that's, you know what, Steve, it's a one game season right now. And it really doesn't matter. You're absolutely right. At this point, at this time, it's about winning a Super Bowl and doing what has gotten them there, and expect the same next week that's happened this week, the week before that, and all that. I agree with you. It's way too late in the game to work on Jalen Hurts' fundamentals. It's way too late in the game this season to work on whether or not he's going to hold on to the football too long or not. It's obvious to that. And again, why do I'm constantly fighting this battle, and I'm so exhausting? I am not anti-Jalen Hurts. I'm not. But there's a sect of fans in this town that need to think that he is something that he's not. And he's not. He is absolutely a game manager, a 100% a game friggin' manager who has not won anything yet. And that's just the facts. And I'm sorry that might hurt some people's feelings. And I'm sorry that might sting a little bit, especially on a night that should be filled with fun and joyousness and celebration, because they went out today and they completely dominated this game. 6 rushing touchdowns in one game, most in NFC Championship game history. This was they scored 21 points off of the 4 Washington turnovers, resulted in 21 friggin' points. Good God, that's dominating, right? There was no part of the Eagle game tonight that was in suspect. There wasn't. The quarterback, as I said, Jalen had himself a decent night. Best night, I think, since the Buffalo game last week. On the night, Jalen Hurts, a very doable 20 for 28, 246, man. A touchdown and a quarterback rating of 72.2 and a RTG of 110.1. I mean, listen, I'm not, the numbers are there. I mean, I can't sit here and I'm not going to bash Jalen Hurts. I'm not. And I don't like to bash him. No, he isn't elite. No, he's not. And I know what's Professor Al saying? Well, let's explore the word elite. There's not too many people. Come on, man. You know what I'm talking about. And you know exactly what I'm talking about. I'm talking about how we as Eagle fans, you know, every day, every hour that passes by, I slip further and further away. And I know I do. And then, you know, I'm going to get into that a little bit later on, that, you know, this greatness tonight, this fact that we're going back to this Super Bowl 5 years ago in Super Bowl 52, that run, I was over the moon on when they won the championship game. I'm definitely not like that anymore. And I have my reasons. Of course, most of you know what those reasons are, but and it's come at a personal cost to me. I should be out there enjoying it just like everybody else, but I can't. No, I got to sit in here and yell at the clouds, man. I mean, it's the life I've created here, but because I still don't believe. I really don't. But What was I talking? See, Steve, you got me off on a goddamn tangent, man. I don't remember what I was talking about. About Jalen Hurts. Were we finishing that? Yeah, about the comp. Listen, again, it was going into this game. He's not 100%. His offensive line wasn't 100%. They're missing a key member of the middle of the defense in Kobe Dean, and they completely went out there and they smacked the dog crap out the Commanders. And going into this game, one of my narratives this week was playing with house money, and that the Commanders are playing with house money. There should have been no pressure on the Commanders in this game. They should have went out playing like there was no tomorrow, right? But it definitely seemed that it was the other way around. Is that the Eagles were playing with the house money, and the Commanders had all the pressure in the world because they were tight. They were overthinking things. 4 turnovers. I really can't stress the 4 turnovers and how important that's been for the Eagles. 10 turnovers, as Steve has mentioned, in the playoffs so far has been rampant. A huge reason why the Eagles are in this position right now. 20 turnovers over the last 6 games going back into the regular season. Stunning, historic. They're averaging 3.5 turnovers a game in the playoffs. You're going to win a Super Bowl doing that. Absolutely. And they have not turned the football over. Now, that's the problem, too. I would like for them to have turned it over in this game tonight, especially at the end when it was in hand. Get that monkey off the back. I certainly don't want the first turnover coming in New Orleans in 2 weeks. That is something I don't want. Before 1980, my dad would say the same stuff about Michael Jack Schmidt. Are you equating, Steve? Hang on, I got to go back to that. Steve, are you putting Mike Schmidt and Jalen Hurts in the same bag? Are you? Last time I checked, Schmidt won 3 MVPs, and he's a world champion. Neither one is Jalen. I get what you're saying. But what I'm not necessarily getting here and telling you that again. Can I stress? I don't hate Jalen Hurts. I'm not anti Jalen Hurts. I'm not pro Jalen Hurts either. I think he's a good quarterback, but he got the money, he got the bag, he got the Brinks truck backed up to him, and I don't think he deserves that. He doesn't play. He's not that type of quarterback. He's just not, in my opinion. Tonight was outstanding. Tonight, best game that he's played since the Buffalo game last year, hands down. And I give that to him. They're going to need that in 2 weeks against Pat. They're going to need that and more against the Chiefs. That and more against the Chiefs. And you know that. Wait, let me check again. Let me check. 21-16 at halftime. Okay, so Buffalo's still in this thing. But does anybody really think Buffalo's coming back? I don't know. But yeah, 55-23. And Steve says we took their house money. Steve, we absolutely did. I mean, we took it and we spent it right in front of them. Good God, man. Again, coming into this game, it was the Commanders who had nothing to lose and everything to win, right? Nothing to lose, everything to win. But they played quite the opposite. They were tight. The play calling at times, the opening drive, where Washington went for it on the 4th and 5, and then the 4th and 2, then converted both times, but had to settle for the field goal. And then was it the next drive where they went for the fake punt and they converted? Listen, in the beginning of this game, it wasn't looking good, but then the turnover started. And then it changes everything. It changes everything in this game. Can the Eagles bank on 4 turnovers a game in the Super Bowl? They probably can't, but they sure as hell probably couldn't have banked on 20 turnovers over the last 6 games. But it happened for them. So they got to keep doing that, obviously, because if you boil it down, it changed everything in this game. It really, truly did. And yeah, I mean, Saquon Barkley what was his numbers? Barkley was 15 carries for 118 yards, average 8 yards a carry, 3 touchdowns, and his longest was that 60-yard dash on the first offensive play of the game. Absolutely stunning. Then you got Will Shipley breaking off 70-yard runs. It was just a party. It was a party from the beginning of the game. And, the last bastion, when they had a shot down 30-23, right? And they were driving. And then another turnover. Then the Eckler turnover happens. It's just, I mean, how can you do that? I thought Sean McVay should have been, fired for gross negligence of not having a better game plan to keep Saquon Barkley under control. I think Dan Quinn needs to be reprimanded for not pulling players out of games because of turnovers and letting that be acceptable. Because back in my day, you turn the football over, man, you're sitting. You're freaking sitting for a little bit. Think about it. But now in this touchy-feely world, we're like, it's okay. Go back out there and get them again, Skippy. You'll be all right. Just can't afford turnovers, man. Stat pack for this game. Another impressive stat for me. 7 for friggin' 7. The Eagles work tonight in the red zone. Stunning efficiency. Just lethal efficiency. 8 for 13 now for the playoffs. The Eagles are in the red zone up to, what was that, 65%, I believe, effective now in the red zone. Entering this game, they were 1 for 6 in the red zone throughout the playoffs, but tonight, a complete dominating effort. 27 points in the first half of this game, 28 in the second. They're now averaging 16 points, almost 17 points in the first half, and they're averaging about 19 points in second half play. Still scoring more in the second half than they are in the first, but they also scored an opening drive touchdown. Now, going back into the regular season, that's now 5. And that's, I believe, 4 over the last. I think they've scored they've scored an opening drive touchdown every game since, I believe, the Commanders game in week 16. So absolutely, I think I can probably stop keeping track of that. I think they've kind of worked that out. They've scored 2 more first quarter touchdowns, 13 now on the year. Again, that number is well up on the rise. I think I'm going to stop tracking that as well. 5 penalties for 30 yards, 4 turnovers forced, did not commit any turnovers. Jalen got sacked twice for 16 yards. They got to Jaden Daniels 3 times for 27 yards. Biggest sack of the night was the Jordan Davis sack, where he blew up right up the middle and just bull rushed everybody, pancaking Jaden Daniels. I mean, just knocking him on the ground. 4th down efficiency, 1 for 1 on this game. They only had to go for it once. And then, of course, the nonsense down on the goal line with Frankie Lulu, jumping over the pile 2-3 times, whatever it was, twice, and then a couple of encroachment penalties. The referee warning that I have the option to award immediate touchdown if you continue this. People are kind of upset about that, but listen, when your season is hanging on the balance and you're doing a friggin' push situation, I'd be diving over the pile every time too. You know what? I would have did it again. The hell with it. Yeah, give him the touchdown. You know what? But I'm not. I'm going to keep diving over this pile because there's no way to stop that play, and they're going to score anyway. Just must just give it to them. But Frankie Lulu made a damn. No, he didn't. Steve, he didn't. Steve, he fought to the end. He fought for his team to the end. Absolutely fought to. That's how I would have went out. You're damn right. You're damn right. I would have went out that way. The play is unstoppable. And if the ref wants to threaten to give him a touchdown, well, give it to him. They're going to score anyway. So I'm going to do everything that I can do to prevent that on every play. And it's unstoppable. There's got to be, someone's got to figure that out, right? But no, I disagree with that. I don't think he made a damn fool of himself. He actually was a beast tonight for the Commanders defensively. And of course, the Eagles now await the winner of the Buffalo Bills, Kansas City Chiefs, for the right to play for all the marbles in New Orleans in 2 weeks from today. Super Bowl 59, boy. Man, oh man. 5th Super Bowl appearance now the Eagles will make in franchise history. Biggest observations, we talked about the 21 points from turnovers. We talked about the turnovers. We didn't talk about Lattimore and the rest of the Commanders. Big penalties at big penalties at the wrong times. Lattimore with the unsportsmanlike penalty down there by the goal line that put them back once the touchdown was scored. Lattimore got cooked today, man. He got friggin' torched today by A.J. Brown and the rest of them. They just made Lattimore look like a fool today. And what was today, like his first real healthy day, his first like real healthy game all season. But too many big time penalties. 6 rushing touchdowns for the Eagles today, most ever in NFC Championship game history. And Jalen Hurts with the best game that I've seen since 2023. So hats off to the 2024 NFC champion Philadelphia Eagles. They deserve it. You heard it here first. They deserve it. Steve chimes back in. Carson Wentz. Yes. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Well, that's interesting. Carson Wentz potentially going to a Super Bowl against the Eagles as a backup with an opportunity to either watch the Eagles raise up another Super Bowl trophy in front of him and not be up on the stage. Well, was he on the stage? Yeah, he was on the stage. Or he has an opportunity to be on the team that does something that's never been done before in NFL history, and that's three-peat. That's a storyline. You got the Carson Wentz storyline, Andy Reid, of course, the freaking Kelsey nonsense again. God, man, that shit won't go away. If we got all that. Just again, it'll be great. Is that the Super Bowl everybody wants? Is that the one everybody wants? I want it. I personally want it. Obviously, they're the best. They're the two-time defending champions. They took it from the Eagles in Super Bowl 57. This is the game. If you want to come out and put your chest out and say you're the best, this is the team you beat because they be the best. And I want this one because you can't talk crap about them not beating the best. But there you go. Yeah, Carson Wentz. Interesting point, Steve, man. Steve with the nugget of knowledge from Steve, man. But and then I want to address something that was talked to me again or brought up about me in the post-game show in reference to I don't know when he started talking about giving away flowers, man. I'm a grown man. Men don't give flowers to other men. I don't know. But he said, Al said, is it time for me to step down and give credence to Howie Roseman for building a franchise that has now made 3 Super Bowl appearances in the last 8 years? And I took that to heart. I took that question to heart, and I'm actually serious thinking about it. And the answer is hell no. I'm not giving credence yet. I'm not giving no flowers to the man. I'm not giving any praise to the man yet. They've only won one Super Bowl so far. Let's see. Let's talk. We'll talk later. All right. It's not out the question. We will talk later. We will talk later. But 55-23 Eagles with the win. How can you not be feeling anything but extremely happy, extremely confident, extremely good about your football team heading into the Super Bowl against and somebody named Nina Bernard checking in says 21-16 KC. Let's go Buffalo. I guess we got a Buffalo Bill fan in the house. So we'll see how that goes. Good work, Nina. Keep up the good work, Nina. 21-16 at half, right? Have they kicked off for the third quarter yet? Yep, we're into the third quarter. So we'll see. I personally think it's KC. And I wonder if Eagle fans are fearing that. Are Eagle fans concerned? Do they want Eagles Bills because it's not the Chiefs and everybody has fear about the stigma of the refs and the Chiefs, or the fact that the Chiefs are just that damn good? I mean, everyone sleeps on the Chiefs. Everyone talks crap about them. They're nothing. I think they're the two-time defending Super Bowl champions. They have an opportunity to do something that no other team in NFL history has ever done before, and that's three-peat. So are Eagle fans wanting Buffalo because they feel it's the easier route to the Super Bowl or easier route to a championship? Or do they really want Buffalo because they want to beat Josh Allen? Why would you want Buffalo? You would want Kansas City because they have taken it from you already. And now you have an opportunity to not only take it back from them, but to end the dynasty. End the rule. Well, stop it for a while. But we'll see as this game kind of continues to unroll. Here on the show, we are 40 minutes into the program, and I have not done my day in Philadelphia sports history. I am suspending that because of the fact it is championship game victory night for the Eagles, 55-23. Still can't get over it. I mean, I had 28-24 Commanders winning this football game. And I'm telling you, if they had damn 4 turnovers, it might have been close to that. I don't know. 4 turnovers. Rampant, man. It is rampant, the turnovers in the NFL this year. And it is completely changing. It is completely like writing its own narrative in the playoffs. And I'm telling you, heading into the Super Bowl, I'm concerned that the Eagles haven't turned the football over yet. I really am. And I'm going to plant that seed in everyone's head tonight and let that thing start to grow, because I don't like that. I don't like that one bit, because that's when it typically happens, right? When it shouldn't happen. But they haven't done it yet, and maybe they don't, and hopefully they don't. But that would be amazing if they don't turn the football over at all in the playoffs, when everybody in this year's playoffs cannot seem to keep their hands on the ball. But 4 turnovers is huge, and 10 turnovers through the playoffs. Again, wrap your heads around this, man. 20 turnovers the Eagles defense have forced over the last 6 games. dating back to the end of the regular season. 20 turnovers. I think heading into that game where it all started to turn from, I think it was the Commanders game. The 5 turnovers they got from the Commanders. But prior to that, I think they went into that Commanders game with like 12 turnovers all season, 12 forced turnovers. And then now they're sitting at 20 over the last 6 games. Utterly amazing. And you got to give credit where credit's due. You got to give it. Yes. Yes, what, Nina Benarchik? Is that how you say that name? B-E-D, Bednarczyk. Is it Benarczyk? Benarczyk? What is that? How you say that, Nina? And is that your real name? Where in the hell have you been? Mike, I have not seen you or heard from you, I don't think, since I've been here. Since I began this network back in October. The last time I think I talked to you was back in EOP. Where in the Christ you been, Mike? Come on, man. It's about friggin' time. Jesus Christ. It's good to see you. I hope Buffalo wins so we can stick it to the Bills Mafia fans for crying the Eagles crying the Eagles Super Bowl run last season, saying we had an easy schedule. Plus, I live upstate New York, 17 years, lived in Philly for 39. Mike, whereabouts in upstate New York do you live? I'd like to know that, actually. If that's the truth, Mike, okay, it's great. But I mean, so you don't fear the Chiefs at all? I mean, I'm looking at it from a standpoint of I want to be considered the best. So I want to play the best. And right now, the Chiefs are the best. And I honestly think it's the Chiefs. I don't think the NFL is going to have an Eagles-Bills Super Bowl. I think it's Eagles-Chiefs, right? But I hear you. I need a time off. Was it the Philly season that did it to you? was that the straw that broke the camel's back? Was the Eagles season or a Philly season? Because we were all feeling that. And then that was right around the time EOP imploded. That was just a bad time, a very bad time. I live in Elmira, which is 3 hours from Buffalo. I know exactly where Elmira is. I have a residence in Utica. That's where my wife lives, and she's probably going to kill me. I've split time between Utica, New York, and Philly. So yeah, I know exactly where Elmira is. It's in the old southern tier, isn't it? Isn't Elmira in the southern tier? Isn't it like right by the PA border? I think that's where it's at. But no, I hear you. I think we all needed a break after that season. But 55-23. And now the Eagles are ramping up. This was the 181st time the Eagles in the Washington franchise had squared off today, and the first time they ever met in the championship game. First time since 86-87. It was an all NFC East NFC championship game, and the first championship game that the Commanders or Redskins, let's call them the Redskins, were in since '92. And boy, if that's the performance that you're going to put in after a 30-year absence, 30+ year absence, boy, hit the bricks, man, because that was pitiful. Yeah, Southern Tier. Yeah, I know where it's at. It's right off 81, right? Right off 81. All right. So we didn't do this night in Philadelphia sports history because I suspended that because of the situation. Obviously, NFC champions, Eagles, 5th Super Bowl appearance now as we await the winner of the Chiefs and the Bills. I want to hear, honestly, who do you want to see? What are we looking at here? What is the best matchup for this team? And I know I'm coming at you a little bit I'm talking on both sides of my mouth right now too about this, because I obviously, for an easier, who matches up better? Would the Eagles be better off matched up against Kansas City, or would the Eagles be better off matched up against Buffalo? I think that Buffalo probably be the better matchup for the Eagles. Pat Mahomes scares the hell out of me, man. Scares the hell out of me. And yes, that little stigma that follows the Chiefs around about getting preferential treatment, I'm not saying that's a real thing. I also ain't saying that's not a real thing either. So that scares the hell out of me, honestly. It does. And so for that fact, yes, I guess maybe Buffalo would be a better matchup. But does the NFL want Buffalo to win? They haven't won a Super Bowl ever. They're 0-4. You know what I mean? Or 0-4. So they do. I don't know, man. I don't know. Thus year's Super Bowl is on my birthday and it's Saquon's. That's right. It is Saquon's birthday. I didn't know it was your birthday on Super Bowl Sunday. Well, happy birthday, Mike. Are you heading down to New Orleans to watch the game? Or are you gonna maybe head across the border, make the run to Philly? What's that about? 3-hour drive down 81 onto the Blue Route, down into the Delaware Valley. You're gonna go down there and watch the game somewhere. But happy birthday. That's pretty cool. Or you're gonna watch it at home, which is my option. Player of the game. Let's talk about player of the game honors. I thought about giving it to 3 different people. Saquon Barkley was definitely present in this game. He definitely was a factor in this game. He wasn't necessarily the overall factor, but he sure as hell set the tone and once again carried the day. I also thought about giving it to the collective group of the Eagles secondary and the way they played, and the Eagles defense maybe as a group because of the turnovers, the 4 of them. But then ultimately, I got to give it to the quarterback, man. I got to give respect where it's due. I got to give respect where it's earned. And that was tonight earned by Jalen Hurts, coming into this game with a banged up knee, coming into this game with everything to prove. And yes, all the pressure on his shoulders. And he rose above it with one of his better performances in a very long time. So my player of the game honors go to Jalen Hurts tonight. I think it was definitely earned. He deserves it, and he was part of the reason why the Eagles are on their way. Now, was his performance tonight? I think what did Brady say during the telecast? He's struggled at times tonight, which he has, and he struggles at times throughout games all season. But when he had to make the throws, he's made the throws, but that's the definition of a game manager. But I got to give it to him. 246 yards. The Eagles did throw the ball a lot more than I suspected them to throw it, and he was on money. And what was it? AJ Brown tonight, kind of waking up from his sleep. What was his? What was it? 6 receptions on 8 targets, 96 yards, and a touchdown. Adding on to the 3 reception, 10 targets, 74 yards, and no touchdowns that he came into the game with. Absolutely got to be, you got to be impressed with that. Devontae Smith making catches along the sidelines with his dragging his feet. Listen, I'm not taking anything away from the Eagles. 14-3 regular season and a complete dominant run through the playoffs up to this point. They deserve to be headed to the Super Bowl. They deserve to be the NFC champions. They do. I would be a complete fool. I would be a hypocrite, just as I accused the homers of being hypocrites, if I did not say that to you tonight. I 100% congratulate the Eagles. They deserve it. I'm happy they're there. Can they finish the job? It's what it's always been about. It's what I've always harped on. It's not about getting there. Yes, you got to get there, but it's can you finish the job? And now we got to sit and let this thing marinate for 2 weeks before we can get to the business at hand, which will be Super Bowl 59. Eagles, and let's check the score. Anybody give me a scoring update? Still 21-16, 3 minutes to go in the third. The Chiefs are still up. So here's some history. Lane Johnson, Brandon Graham, Jake Elliott, Rick Lovato are the only Eagles players to go and be in 3 Super Bowls in the history of the Eagles franchise. Yes, and they happen to all be from this current generation of Eagles. Yeah, you're right. I mean, think about it. It makes sense. Up through this kind of era, they won, and they were in the Super Bowl in 81, and they were Super Bowl again in 2005. It's been gapped out, but there you go. They're the last 3 members of the 17 Super Bowl champions of the Super Bowl 52 Eagles. Yeah, absolutely. Now, also, does Brandon Graham make an appearance in this game? What we've been talking about for the last couple of weeks was when he initially got hurt, it was he could trend and be ready for the Super Bowl. Does Brandon Graham make an appearance? If not for a depth piece, decoy, whatever, does he suit up for Super Bowl 59? I honestly think if Brandon Graham puts on a uniform for Super Bowl 59, it's because he's retiring. I'm telling you that. If he does not play, and what I mean by not play is he doesn't put a uniform on. Playing in this scenario means putting a uniform on. Whether or not he actually gets into the game or not is irrelevant to me. It's whether or not he puts a uniform on as them standing on the sidelines. If he does that, he is retiring after that game. If he does not do that, he'll be back next year. That's All I'm going to say about that, but I would love to see Brandon Graham have another shot at winning a Super Bowl, get that second ring, entrench himself as potentially, along with Lane Johnson now, hands down Hall of Famers. If you're going to walk out of here with 2 rings, you're definitely Eagles Hall of Famers, and definitely, Lane Johnson's going on the first ballot in the Football Hall of Fame, but Brandon Graham could definitely strengthen his case for Canton with another ring. So absolutely. KC, oh no. So the Buffalo Bills are up 22-21 at the end of the third, or coming to the end of the third quarter. So here we go. Buffalo's not going to go away that easy. All right, go Bills. Let's see it, man. Good God, Buffalo. All right. All right, so again, we did not do the day in your Philadelphia sports history. I am going to also suspend the of the night segment. I am also going to suspend the card review tonight. We're not doing any of that. It is all Eagles all the time. Eagles 55-23 winners over the Washington Commanders, and they are on their way to Super Bowl 59, the 5th Super Bowl appearance in Philadelphia Eagle history. Congratulations to the Eagles. Congratulations to the city of Philadelphia. Congratulations to the Eagle fans, and yes, to include the homers. You deserve this. You deserve it. You stuck with this team through thick and thin, and you deserve to stick your chest out tonight and enjoy it. It is a victory that, and these don't come around too often. They don't. This is kind of an anomaly a little bit. You don't typically go to 2 Super Bowls in 3 years. You really don't. So it should be enjoyed. It should be reveled, and it should be really, really just sucked in and taken in. And the next 2 weeks are going to be long. They're going to be a long, arduous 2 weeks. They're going to go very slow, but we obviously know what it feels like to be there. It feels like to watch that game, and the build up to that is amazing. Wherever you might be going to watch said game, if you're going down to New Orleans, if you're going to watch it at home, bar, a party, some other place in Philly, elsewhere, wherever, enjoy it. It's a national holiday, and it's so much so more when the Eagles are involved. So it's an amazing time, and it should be taken and enjoyed with every bit of amazingness. So once again, congratulations to the Philadelphia Eagles, the 2024 NFC champions, as they now await the winner of the Buffalo Bill Kansas City Chief game. 22-21 now, about 2 minutes or 3 minutes left in the third quarter of the AFC Championship game. Remember, here on the It's a Wrap Sports Network, tomorrow night we will be back in full force. Here is our Flyers schedule for the week. I will be back tomorrow night with Flyers post game, so there'll be no final word tomorrow. But I got you Flyers Devils immediately following the Flyer game, so no final word tomorrow as I got Flyers and Devils. But at 7 p.m. tomorrow, don't forget the wraparound Sal G, as he will no doubtedly continue on with the conversation. Eagles heading to the Super Bowl with the wraparound, and then all the great programming, of course, we have coming up this week. And yes, there are some big time announcements coming for this network over the next few days. Hopefully, I have one that's already been done. It's a done deal. It's a new show returning, or it's a show that's coming onto the network. It's a done deal. We'll be releasing information about that here very soon. And then there's another one out there. This is a granddad. This would be the granddaddy of them all if I can get this deal done. It's a game changer, actually, if I can get this deal done. But that's kind of in the negotiation process right now. So hopefully that works out. And then there's the third show lingering out there that I'm also working on. So there's a potential that this network could be adding 3 shows to it over the next few days. So stay tuned for all those great announcements as we continue to grow this in a hopefully in a very fast, efficient way. So again, I want to thank everybody for their continued support as we do grow this. Good show. I would back. Mike, thank you, man. And hey, head over to YouTube, Mike, if you don't mind. Drop a subscribe for us. I would really appreciate that. But thanks, Mike. You've been gone too long, man. I missed you. It's you, Steve, Barbara. You guys are sort of part of all this too. So you need to stick around, man. Don't do that again. Don't disappear like that again, man. But yeah, welcome back. But as I said, we have big news coming. Hopefully, big news. Big news coming, hopefully, over the next few days. But I definitely secured one new show, working on one other one, and then really working on a big one. Hopefully that works out. And that's a game changer, folks. Absolute game changer. Believe me when I tell you that. But more to follow on all that as we move forward. And again, thanks for all the great work today by the Birds Flyby guys, Mike, Al, and Sal on the postgame, me, Al, and Sal on the pregame. Did my heart, I said at the beginning of the show, it did my old heart. It felt great to watch that. It felt great to see them guys together. It felt great to be part of that again. It was almost like old times, and definitely would like to see more of that. Mike Lauer, of course, is returning to this network in February. And of course, Sal's here, has been here from the beginning. And of course, Al, Al's Al. But big stuff coming up. We'll talk more about that when I can. But just know that there is big news coming. Big time news coming. Hopefully big time. There's big news coming, and hopefully big time news coming. So you guys enjoy the rest of your night, and you have yourself an even better tomorrow. Eagles 55-23 winners over the Commanders. They're headed to the Super Bowl, folks. Will it be the Bills or the Chiefs? Well, we'll have to wait and see. Until we talk again tomorrow on the post game, because I won't be back until Monday night or Tuesday night for this show. You guys, again, have a great rest of your night and an even better tomorrow.
Devil, I'm the D-E, I'm the D-E-B-I, I'm the D-E, I'm the D-E.